Traders, how are you? With Marcello. Today we're going to be talking about making money with video games. Not playing the game, because I don't have time to play games, but you can sponsor people and they can play the game for you and make a great return on your investment. The game is called Axie Infinity. Let's get started. So I have quite a few friends who are kind of in the trading space, and he's the one that introduced me to this game. And I'm not big into the crypto world, let's say. It's not that I don't like cryptos. I just, there's other things that you can invest in that give you the same kind of returns. For example, futures market. You can make a lot of money in trading. You can lose a lot of money as well. But you can make, even on a very conservative basis, something like 60% a month, and that's only with one position. If you want me to do a video on that, I'll explain it, how it's even a better investment than Bitcoin. But nothing against the cryptos, right? So this is a game where I don't really consider it part of quote-unquote cryptos. I consider it more NFT based and blockchain based, right? Now, if you don't know what NFTs and blockchains are, I'm going to explain that really quickly just so you guys can understand, because there may be some people that are really new. So blockchain is the technology behind cryptos or behind Bitcoin, right? So you have all the cryptos and they work on the Bitcoin technology, or I said Bitcoin, blockchain technology. So you have the cryptos and Bitcoin, they use blockchain. Blockchain is, in my opinion, the future of everything, right? They're using it in real estate transactions. Wouldn't surprise me if the governments in the future, for example, base their government coins on blockchain. And so from there is a new, let's call it an invention called an NFT, which is a non-fungible token. Think of it like a digital item that you can buy that has a unique signature that you own. So let's say you buy art, for example, or a car or a house. That's a physical item that you own. It's kind of the same thing, but it's on the internet, right? So the way that people make money on Axie Infinity is they basically take the game was inspired by Pikachu and Tamagotchi. Hopefully I said that right. Basically, the Pikachu games that you guys see online, the Pokemons, it was inspired by this, and a group of these guys founded this company. It's called Sky Mavis, and they're basically a tech game studio. It was founded in 2018, inspired by Pokemon basically, and then they created the game that's based on the blockchain technology, which is on cryptos. And essentially, they don't mine cryptos because that would take a lot of energy and also a lot of computing power. It's basically based on the fact that you can use these Axies within the ecosystem of Sky Mavis in the game to be able to make money with these Pikachus, right? They call them Axies. And so you can breed the Axies, they can have kids, you can race them, you can battle them, you can trade them, you can sell, buy, and that's how people essentially make money with the game. Now, it would kind of seem ridiculous to some of us. I'm a big, for example, gold and silver guy, right? But there's value in this because I saw people, for example, like Samsung 8 days ago when I'm recording this video, invested $152 million. Samsung was part of that investment. And in addition to that, you have Mark Cuban, which was part of a $7.5 million investment round. So even though it's kind of in this crypto world and it's kind of a new tech, let's say, even though it uses blockchain and NFTs, it's a relatively new idea where people can play a game, invest in a game, play a game, and then make money off of a game. And I remember when I was younger learning how to trade, my mom would tell me, stop on the computer playing games, whatever. And obviously trading now is huge. And the same thing with video games, right? We had a situation where video games have evolved to this huge market where people have sponsorships and they earn millions of dollars. But luckily, you don't need millions of dollars or any Pikachus to hit like on the video because it helps a lot. It's not part of the game, but it helps with the video. So once you leave your like. So other than that, it's basically it's an ecosystem. The API is open. People who develop for the game and they help the game get paid in certain tokens and rewards. And so it's literally, think of it like a huge ecosystem, like one of these huge video games where you can come in, you can buy these things, you can breed them, you can play them. And so the money behind this isn't really in playing yourself, because we're talking about, depending on the investment, it gets a little bit complicated here. I'm sure you guys have seen some of the video games and things, but you guys can see here on the screen how some of these are $200 or $300. This is another one that I've been looking at. For example, it's $200-$300 as well. And so you literally construct your own team. So there's a little bit of math behind it. You can't just go in and decide to buy these things and not know what you're doing. You have to have a little bit of direction where there's cards that go with them. It's like a whole complicated ecosystem that you have to learn. And the refresh didn't work here, so I'll try it again. And so you build a team with a minimum of these 3 Axies, or these Pikachu things, right? These goobly goblin things. And then you can sponsor somebody with the team. And so let's say you spend, I don't know, $500 or $900 or $1,000 on the team, because you have to have minimum of 3 on the team. You buy the team and then you get somebody to play the game for you, right? So now the return on investment is going to depend on how much they play and also what the price of the crypto that they pay in is at. Okay. Now the price of the crypto is called SLP. And SLP right now is at 0.0695. So let's just call it 0.07 for short. You can see it's wildly volatile. It's gone up to about 40 cents, 43 cents. And then it's gone down now to about 6 or 7 cents. Now, if someone playing the game can make, let's say, I'm going to pull up a calculator here just to kind of throw some numbers at you. So if you have a person who can make an average, let's say, of 3,000 SLP, and these numbers I got from a friend who already has a lot of money invested in this game and has something along the lines of 160 players that he sponsored. If somebody can make 3,000 SLPs, to turn SLP into dollars, we convert it with the value of what it is now. So remember, we just said that it was at 0.07. So 0.07 is $210. So that's gross. You divide that by, let's say, the $1,000 for the team, and you're looking at a 20% investment on return on investment in 1 month. That's 3,000 SLP. Now, somebody should theoretically, and somebody good should be able to make about 4,000 to 5,000 SLP. So if we do the math on 4,000 SLP, you're looking at 280 a month. So 210, let's say, on a lower scale, 280 on a pretty good scale, and then somebody, let's say, who's knocking it out of the park, which is double the number that I gave you, which is the minimum, you're looking at about $420. That's at 6,000 SLP. So 210, 280, 420. Divide that by 1,000. You're looking at anywhere between 20 to maybe 50. I've seen some guys as high as 60% return on investment. Now, there is a risk in playing this game as well, because with any investment, it's a risk. The value of what you're getting on your return on the investment is based on the crypto. So the crypto can go up and down. So right now it's at 0.07. Let's say it goes down to 0.05. Right? If we're doing the same math at 3,000 SLP for the low end at 0.05, instead of $210, we went down to $150. But if you do the math, that's still 15% return on your investment. Now that's gross. Now the idea behind this is you get a decent enough team, especially if it's cheap. The prices go up and down based on the value of Ethereum. I think the cheapest that we've been able to look at these prices are about $800. The highest are about 1,000 or so. And it's not only just the game. You're going to have to learn a little bit about the crypto space, because you're going to need, it's a little bit complicated and tedious to be able to get the wallets and the things that you need to get the money where you need it to be able to buy the Axies or the Pokemons. And then you have to assign each team to an individual person, and it's extremely, extremely tedious. I might try to do one right now just to kind of show you how it is. And so in order to play, so you as a person, if you want to start making $200, $300, $400 a month, that's fine. I don't really think that's a lot of money, right? For me, I'd rather put in $1,000 for the team and have somebody make me 20, 30, 40%, right? And if you have 10, 20, 30, 40, 100 of those people, you can really scale up pretty quickly, right? So you're going to need to get Ethereum, right? So I'm sure you guys have heard that. I'm trying to speak in a little bit beginner sense, and some of you guys maybe don't understand a little bit about the cryptos. Ethereum is probably the second most popular crypto out there, and it's based, think about it as a new internet system, right? Think about it like that. You're going to need a wallet to be able to buy the Ethereum. That you can use Binance or Coinbase, for example. Then from there, you're going to take your Ethereum that you bought and transfer it over to a wallet like MetaMask, right? And then from MetaMask, you're going to transfer it over to the game's wallet. So Axie Infinity has their own wallet called Ronin. And then you're going to, in Ronin, use the Ethereum to buy the Axies. So after that, it's basically the same procedure going backwards, right? You make the SLP, you convert it into Ethereum, and then you convert it into USD. Now, there's going to be additional costs as well that are involved with this as well. The way that you set it up, what I'm doing as well is setting up not necessarily a course on how to do this, but kind of holding people's hand to be able to set this up, to find scholars, to be able to invest in the teams and make the return on investment. So if you guys are interested in that, just send an email. I don't know, at support at, actually do it to Wandering Trader maybe. I think it's admin@wanderingtrader.com, or leave a comment and I'll give you the email. It'll be fine. If you guys are listening on the podcast, some of you guys have told me to shout out on YouTube. So if you guys want to watch the YouTube, just look for Marcello Arrambide English, or maybe Marcello English DTA. It should come up. And so once you're there, then you're going to basically withdraw the money and then basically make a good return on your investment. Now, there's another risk that I see into this as well. I love the idea behind Bitcoin because I believe in kind of decentralization, and I would rather a non-corrupt government, because most governments are corrupt, right? To be able to have a decentralized system. And so I love the idea behind Bitcoin being a decentralized money. However, I don't think that the government is going to allow Bitcoin to be money, because the government controls the money. So they're not going to give the control to somebody else. They're not going to let go of that. And so that's where I think that the limit of Bitcoin is. That doesn't mean that Bitcoin's going to go away, right? They could try to regulate it. Obviously, people say that it can't be regulated. That's kind of a question mark. But there is a risk. For example, so if we saw in the beginning of 2021 how they were talking about China cracking down on the mining, U.S. The U.S. jurisdiction or the Justice Department going after people with cryptos, or the crypto space, I should say. There's been situations where a lot of countries have shut down Binance, which is the biggest crypto exchange in the world. So that is a risk, right? For some of you guys that are pro Bitcoin, you might say, well, that's impossible, but the chance is always there. I think that the chance is much higher than 1%, but that's a risk. But the reason why I love the idea behind this game is, one, you have very serious people that are investing in the game. I don't think Mark Cuban or Samsung would be putting money in the game if it wasn't the ability to make money or the idea behind the whole ecosystem, right? And the returns on our investment are just amazing. I'm gonna try to put this is a tracking system that you can use to be able to track the people who are playing in the Axies. And these are the ones that I already sponsored. And you guys can see that the average SLP that someone's making a day is about 205 SLP. So if we do the math on that, that number right there, $14.14, should be the amount of money that somebody's making with the current amount. Yeah. So you're looking at 1414, right? And then you multiply that by 30 instead of 31 days. So the best player I have right now is making $420 a month. You divide that, let's say, by 1,000, 42%. Take out a cut for them. Let's call it half, even though it's a little bit less. That's still 20% for you. So I think the return on the investment is high enough to where if they do try to shut it down or something happens, you can make enough return on your investment before anything happens, right? And I still think it's pretty early. Even if the SLP goes down more, you can still make a decent investment. They're trying to make it so the value of the currency or the crypto that you get paid in, which is the SLP, it goes up a little bit higher, right? So like between 13 or 14. And then if that happens, you're basically making double what the number I just told you. So instead of making 42%, you're making 80% in 1 month. So this is kind of where I see this. And I find it really interesting, right? Because I think in the world that we live in now, during COVID, I don't think we're post-COVID yet, right? I don't think the pandemic is officially over. I think we should be looking for investments where you don't have to have a physical store, where you need licenses and regulation. I mean, if the internet goes out and there's a blackout, which I think could happen and will happen, and then everybody has bigger problems than just, doing something on the internet. So I'm kind of looking at these opportunities to be able to obviously share them with you, but also talk about how, you can, if you have, let's just say, talking out loud, you have, I don't know, $10,000, for example, and you put it into this game, you buy 10 teams, you make 20, 30% a month. And obviously, it's a little bit more complicated, right? You have to find the teams, you have to train the people, you have to keep up with the game, you have to sell the teams if something happens. So it's a little bit more complicated. As with any business, you need to do well. But it's interesting because I think that it's something that I think you should be able to do and make a good return off of. Now, the last thing I'll say to you guys is you are going to need a few more things. For example, a physical wallet. This is what the one that I got looks like. It's a Trezor. It's about 210 $110, I think. Yeah, $110. I think the price went up $210. Then after that, you're going to be paying transfer fees, which for people who say that the future of money is crypto, the gas fees, which are the fees to transfer the wallets, is extremely expensive. We're talking about $50, $100. It's just unfathomable for people that say this is super efficient and cheap, which is really not. And so what I'm going to do is every week maybe I'll do a video kind of letting you know how the game is going. So far, 7 days in. So I started on the 10th of October, 2021. The first day I signed 2 or 3 accounts. And as the people play the game, the game starts at 0. So you have to build up the creatures, the Axies, to have more power and more cards. And, it's a complicated thing in the game. And so you have to build up. So as people build up the accounts in the Axies, they get better over time. So in 7 days, I'm at about 3.7% return on my investment, which means that for the month or 30 days in, I'm looking at about 13 to 15% or so. And that's with the Axies being at 0 and not not everybody starting at the same time. So it looks really, really good to me. I'll let you guys know. This is kind of well, I shouldn't say my first venture into crypto because, I'm going to start using that all the time. And, a little bit of Dogecoin. I might have been involved in a little bit of Dogecoin. But so that's I'm going to talk about this. I just think, if you have $1,000 lying around, not that you should listen to me where you put your money because I'm not a trading advisor. This isn't trading advice. This is only for educational purposes only. But I think it's, if you have $1,000 lying around, you can make $200 a month off of that. I mean, it's better than kind of picking one of the 13,000 different cryptos and learning how to trade. You see what I mean? So let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions or you want me to detail anything, I might do the process completely in the next video just to kind of show you. Again, I think I'm going to do a course to be able to show people how to do this and maybe hold their hand through the process where they can, learn how to do it and then find the players, or I can help you find the players since we have a huge community in Latin America and the percentages that we pay the players are great as well, where you can receive up to 80 or 60% and kind of give you guys the model. But let me know if you guys have any questions. If you do have any questions, leave it with hashtag Ask Marcello there in the comments so I can look it up. For those of you that are watching on Instagram or YouTube, make sure to leave your like because it helps with the algorithm. See you next time. Bye.